Welcome back, blade lovers and you folder owners out there. I'm going to give you a quick lesson in how to open a fixed blade. Grab the sheath, grab the blade, and it's open. You don't need to flick it. You don't need to flip it. You don't need a flipper tab. The knife is a knife as soon as you remove it from the sheath. And with as many folders as I have, that is in no way a put down for folding knives, because you can't always carry these much larger brethren. But I hope you stay around today to take a look at this Bastinelli knife known as the Grozo. Grozo, and I was very curious about what that name was, and in looking it up and seeing Groza and Grozo in the Wiktionary as references to Polish and several other languages, but basically what I'm coming up with is horror, terror, and dread, and also perhaps wonder and fear. So I think this knife could invoke that feeling or feelings. This is a knife designed by Bastien Coves for the French military, the R.A.I.D unit, and that acronym stands for something. I'm not going to give lessons in it at the moment, but I always find it interesting to try to get underneath the name of a knife when they name it, especially something unusual that it's not familiar to us. This is about a 6.5 inch knife or so. We're going to measure it up in a moment. It is obviously a dagger, double edge, very businesslike and military in profile. Fuller down the middle. It has an excellent black stonewashed finish on the N690 CO blade. It is made in Italy by Fox. Here's the nomenclature. Not much branding on the blade other than the Bastinelli claw mark logo. This one is partially serrated, which I find for a combat tactical military knife is very useful for cutting things that blades would normally slide off of. And this is a very aggressive serrated section, about 1.25 inches or so in length. Still gives you a very long run of flat, straight edge. And these are coming in at around $350. Not cheap. Particularly when we're really not talking high-end materials, but all of Bastinelli's knives were made in N690 way back when. It's only recently that they're being made in LMAX and M390 and some other steels perhaps. Those are his newer, smaller knives. But this is a confidence-inspiring handful. You've got a glass breaker, skull crusher, interestingly milled into the pommel with jimping near the pommel, so that in the reverse grip you've got a tactile mark there for your thumb. You can also clamp your thumb down completely. This is a knife designed to defend and to quickly damage and incapacitate. No question about it. We're going to get some quick measurements on it, just so you know what we're dealing with, and then we've got quite a few comparisons here today. 11 inches exactly overall, not a small knife, and 6-inch blade. So I said 6.5. It was a little close, I suppose. Blade stock in inches, 0.17. We're going to get the handle, then we're going to go to millimeters. 0.76 inches for the handle thickness, and the blade stock in millimeters, 4.4. So good heavy duty blade stock, and it is a exposed tang, full tang knife. Everything is crowned, as you see coming out of fox and lion steel on these Bastinelli knives, as well as other knives that fox and lion steel make under their own brand. But these are OEM'd out. Bastien Coves does make his own custom knives in his shop, and those are available once in a while. You may find a custom version of this somewhere, but that's going to run you way more than $350 if you think $350 is high. How about a weight? So just the blade, meaning the knife. We have 7.6, call it 7.66 ounces. It does come with that sheath you saw me remove earlier, and there we go. It's a good sturdy Kydex sheath with a tech lock. Actually, it's a dots, which is a takeoff on the tech lock. You can lock it, and you know the whole deal. And with this size knife, you're probably going to want to wear it on the belt. Either position, vertical, horizontal, clip it to a pack, what have you. One thing I noticed about this sheath right off was it's a very tight fit. So tight that I just popped the latch. There's a little bit of rattle. And what's holding it in is basically the guard area of the knife. It's a very quick break to get it out, and I haven't been successful in thumbing it off yet. I did stretch the Kydex just a little bit to loosen it up from what it was out of the box. Is that a bad thing? No. If this knife is seeing field use, you're not going to want it to fall out, and you want to be able to even hold it upside down in a shoulder rig or on a pack or what have you. So here's a comparison somebody had asked me to make. This is the TKL Mercenary, just about the same size knife, single edge, and a bit thicker, probably not that much thicker. Might even be the same. Yeah, 4.1, so actually a little thinner stock. This has his nickel boron ultra slippery protective coating on it. Looks like clouds. I did a review on this. Check it out if you're interested. But a similar sized knife probably meant a little more for field duty and less for strictly defense and combat than the Grozo. Here's another Bastinelli. This is the PY, designed for Fred Mastro system by Bastien Coves, and that is more of a Tonto design. And you notice that it's a very simple swale on the handle, no finger grooves, and it's a little lighter weight than the Mercenary. One thing I do like comparing about the Mercenary is that the sheath is a little easier to manage. It was a little easier coming in and out right from the start. And you've got a tension adjuster where you can determine how tight you want that sheath. And you can thumb it off, and it's got a little different type of a mount with multi-position as well. So I do like that about it. I've found some fault with the Bastinelli sheaths being a little thinner and sometimes a little more difficult to get in and out of the get the knife in and out than other brands. Why that's done, I don't know. It could be a Fox thing, or in the case of Lion Steel, it could be a Lion Steel thing, but I don't think Lion Steel is making the fixed blades, but I'd have to look back and determine whether they do or not. I know they make some folders for Bastinelli. This one's the Raptor L, another large knife, another full-size tactical combat knife, fighting knife, and right in there about the same length. A lot different handle, almost more like a kitchen knife, but I will tell you, this has got beautiful ergos to it, just amazing ergos. And he's gone wild with the jimping on the blade, as he has with many of his fixed blade knives. Now one more. This is the Tops large size Vtec Viking tactical design, and it is probably about as heavy duty as the Mercenary, maybe a little more so. Different handle, lots of fancy jimping and red liners, and this is 1095 tool steel with the acid rain finish on it. Nice Bowie design, nice clip design. Another big knife, something you can use for both camp and field use, digging, chopping, whatever, as well as one-on-one tactical defensive applications. Lost for words, sorry. Well, let's take everything else out of the picture here and get another look at this double-edged demon. Really, if you like Dagger designs, this is a cool way to go. You might be able to get discounts on this depending upon where you go. Certainly at White Mountain, where this came from, you can get 10% off, and you're talking $35 when you're talking $350. So if you've got a penchant for fixed blade knives as well as folders, I think Bastinelli knives is really, really tactical art, as they advertise themselves to be. Probably got 12 or 13 Bastinelli knives right now. If you look at the Bastinelli playlist, you'll probably pull them all up. So again, if you have an interest, check them out. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe.